say we have a problem, but every night I'm making new best friends, and the only problem is we like having a good time.
Hello, everyone. Love wrestling. Oh, Pluggo's already dancing. It's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m., and you know what that means.
What does that mean, JPJ?
It's another episode of Between Two Bids, the 95th installment. We get creeping. We keep on creeping up to that 100, man.
I know. I can't believe we're almost there.
Keep on creeping up.
All the shit we put.
How the hell did we make it this far? You know? Jeez Louise.
I will say this. Shout out to Affiliate for being a tier 1 subscriber for the past 4 months. If you want to subscribe to Love Wrestling, hit that subscribe button. We got our faces. You can use our faces as emotions. Sierra, hi.
Hello. Thanks for being here.
I'm going to switch it around. JPJ, how are you today?
I'm doing okay. I'm feeling all right. I'm excited to have the show. We got the hard hour tonight because after us, right at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have a gigantic episode of Quizplex. Why don't you let them know a little bit about that, Pluggo? Who's on tonight?
This is the Champions of Champions edition.
Damn right it is. You're damn right it is.
There's a controversy going on the Quizplex side. They're going to settle it tonight with Big Bad Boris, TJ Canada, our girl, our friend of the show, Taryn from Accounting.
Yeah.
She's going to be on there.
You know who we'll be rooting for. No offense, TJ and Boris. We love you, but you know who we're rooting for tonight. We got some buddies popping in. Hab Guy, long time no see, JPJ. Hey, Pluggo. Yeah, I streamed a little bit earlier today, and Hab Guy was in there keeping me some company. We got HCW Sports. Always good to see them hopping in, saying two beards. We got Dustin saying hello, Beard Boys.
With that killer graphic he made earlier on Twitter. Go check that out.
Right.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And yes, the member of 7 is on. Hopefully there's no members of the Rods coming on tonight.
Hopefully not. And then
we can make it an hour.
Yeah. But we do have the hard hour, but not only do we have that tonight, we have a guest tonight, somebody that we've been wanting to get on for a little bit here since joining us at the Love Wrestling family. So without further ado, let's introduce him. We got one Blair Pacheco from the Grainmaker. I got that right?
You got it right.
You're damn right. From the Grainmaker Podcast.
You guys pump my tires like that, I'm going to be grinning from ear to ear all show.
Literally, what we had to do was, we are so unprofessional at this thing. We had to get a professional such as yourself to join us. We had to let you know pre-show, put it out on the. You can do whatever you want this hour. You don't have to be professional. You can say whatever you want. How do you feel about the Rods, as I like to call them, crashing our streams every week?
Yeah. I mean, the fact that I'm here, maybe it'll deter them a little bit. You know, maybe they don't. Maybe they're a little scared. I don't know.
I mean, you got that Alex Kane on, baby. You know,
you are wearing that Alex Kane shirt. Also, friend of the show, been on this show before.
Great guy.
We love. Yes, we and Affiliates did say, and we did have Josh on last week, and that didn't stop him. So I wouldn't be shocked. I would not be shocked.
Well, let's hope we can make the hour without any interruptions.
Let's hope.
That would be nice. Because Blair is a good guy. He's on the show for the first time. We want to show him a good time. We don't want to get him involved in our gang affiliations, our gang warfares, if you will. I just want to know who's selling our data.
That's what I need to know.
Through these rats guys so they can get
We got Rye Levy. Good to see you, friend, popping in the chat saying, hey, Bearded Beauties and Blair. We got our representation, Lawrence, in the chat. He says he's watching. Yeah, Lawrence has all the information and everything he needs. And we are preparing
the case
for legal work if we need to. Because
see, Blair, I don't know how it goes for you on the Grainmaker podcast, but over here on Beards, we seem to make enemies at a very
It's usually Pluggo. It's usually Pluggo. If we can be honest, because I love the guy. No. It's usually Pluggo, and I get dragged into it.
So we have
he's been challenged at LPW 15. If he decides that he's accepting that challenge, I gotta go.
Thankfully, I don't think I've made too many enemies, so I'm trying to keep it that way.
Yeah. And then we got Rye acknowledging brother Lawrence, officially a wrestling show, Ride or Die. Yeah.
Lawrence has been making the rounds at some of these GCW shows.
Yeah, GCW was in Toronto. He made it out to Elimination Chamber last month. IWS he's been to, so he's getting a good run of wrestling shows up there.
I hope he squashed Screenshot Gate with Jordan Oliver. I hope that got squashed because that was a beef.
No.
Speaking of which, I wanted to lead off with that. GCW this past Sunday. Blair, Grainmaker Pod. You just interviewed Sexy Eddie. He blew up the internet with his full moon salt spot. What did you think of that spot? Obviously, you're familiar with Sexy Eddie, maybe more than some of the haters that were on the internet, but what did you think?
You know what? It's when you see someone like Sexy Eddie and you know his history, that's par for the course. You know, in a GCW show, like you have to expect that. And I was amazed by the outrage that came from it. And it made me laugh, you know, because that is Sexy Eddie. Like you go back, he's done it numerous times. It's not the first.
Yeah. Warren Hayes is in the house.
We got our buddy Warren Hayes popping in saying, doing that hype train. We got Ry Levy saying Eddie is the best. And Ophelia saying, "Won't someone think of the children?"
Well, I'm gonna
think of the children.
I gave him kind of the Cliff Notes version off of air, but I was Sunday night chilling. I was like, "Oh, GCW's got a show. You know, the kids are doing their thing. Mrs. Pluggo's in nose in her book, which has been great. She's a book reader. She loves. Go follow her on Twitter. She's a big book reader. She'll review all these books. So it gives me the opportunity to pretty much watch whatever I want. I was like, I'm gonna watch the wrestling tonight. And of course, she looks up. It goes, what the fuck is that? And I go, Sexy Eddie's doing, that's that gimmick. He ripped the trunks off. He holds, he's not exposing anything but his butt, and he does like moves. And she's like, what are you watching? And I was just like, it's professional
wrestling, dear. I'm watching professional wrestling.
And and to Philly's point, the people that, this is how I feel about it, right? Like it's not GCW's job to police what your children watch.
Nope.
They shouldn't be watching that anyway. I know my youngest loves wrestling. He talks about it all the time, but I make sure to, like, if it gets to that point, we're not watching GCW death matches. You know, we're keeping it PG. So that's my job as a parent to be like, it was a 19+ show, if I'm not mistaken, right? Lawrence and Riley Levy, who were there, maybe you had to be of a certain age to even get into the show, I believe. If I did hear that. So yeah. It's wrestling. Let it go.
Yeah. I mean, it was the same. Look, I am 38 years old when ECW was first getting popular in 97, 98, 99. I was younger. I was 12, 13 years old. And my mom didn't care that I was watching WCW, WWE, or all those things, but she would see the stuff that was on ECW, which at that age, I'm just like, hell yeah, man. This is like, woo, the best. And that was the only one she would see. And she'd be like, what are you watching? Because there were friggin' flaming tables, girls wearing almost literally anything. Like, you know what I mean? It was just and when I think of GCW, I think of them more as like that, like the early on stages, like the modern day ECW type of thing. And it's the same stuff. Like if you're a wrestling fan and you got younger kids, or you got kids that usually watch WWE or AEW or all these shows with you, you need to know as a wrestling fan, and Ry Levy confirming that it was 19+ at the show. Yeah. You need to know as a wrestling fan that, like, if you're turning on GCW and you got a little kid that usually your son, whatever, watches wrestling with you, you need to know, like, hey, maybe this is probably, some stuff could go down here on this show that might not be WWE-esque, or mainstream television-esque. You have to know. You have to know.
Yeah.
And Billy is saying it's in a damn bar.
So now that we've kind of talked past that, in the comments, you can drop how you feel about it. Let us know. Drop anything. Yeah. Anything you
Let us know in the comments what you want to talk about. This is kind of a free form. We wanted Blair on here because we've been trying to get him on here.
How did that work for you? So like you dropped the podcast with Sexy Eddie like this week.
Yeah.
And he broke the internet like a few days prior. Like, how cool is that to be like perfect timing? Like,
I wish that we would have been able to record it afterwards, so I could have got all of his thoughts on it, because we recorded it right after the GCW invasion in that Atlantic City show.
Okay.
So he had some time and we chatted. So it was before all of that. So I wish we could have talked just about that, but I'm hoping to hear about that when he's in town this upcoming week.
Get that. It's just like perfect.
Yeah. And I feel you saying, I had never heard of Sexy Eddie, but now I'm a super fan. That madness is amazing. And Hab Guy saying, did I hear Sexy Eddie? Oh man, Eddie, love Eddie. And then Dustin saying, I believe Blair mentioned it before, but how was his experience at 8? And I did want to talk. I wanted to bring this up too, because I'm sure we're going to talk a little bit about, at least one of the matches that we saw last night on AEW Dynamite. But how was your experience in Winnipeg? Like, yeah, great seats.
Match.
I love that whole thing, by the way. But we can talk about anything you want on Dynamite last night. I thought it was a great episode of Dynamite. Yeah, but you had pretty good seats, man, right on the entryway right there. Yeah, some nice seats. How was that whole experience of going to AEW in Winnipeg?
From the get-go, it was incredible. I've gone to Raws and SmackDowns, but this was different. Like going to Raw, I felt like an adrenaline dump throughout the show, but this one, it was a constant for 2 hours. You're not looking at the time or anything like that. So your attention's always captivated or captured, I should say. And then like the action was great. They're very interactive with all the fans. It just made for a great time seeing so many wrestlers from Western Canada there, like so much of the LPW roster on Dark. Like it was a great time.
Yeah. And, I've had the privilege, I live close to Boston, so I've had the privilege of seeing AEW a few times, and the vibe is completely different. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. I go to WWE whenever they're around. I love, I still watch. I still love it. And those shows are fun as hell too. Like, I don't have a bad time at a WWE live show, but the atmosphere is dramatically different when you're an AEW show. Like it feels like those fans that go to AEW show are there, and they are there to have a good time the whole time. WWE, when they go to commercial or things happen, the lights dim. It's very corporatized in that way. Like, they keep your attention with vignettes and videos and stuff like that. But there's a lot of times where the fans are, the lights are off. You're looking at your phone, or you're not focused on that. Whereas AEW, even during the commercials, if there's a wrestler in the ring, they'll cut a promo. And if they're a heel, they'll get after the crowd. Or Tony Khan, when I've been in Boston, runs out 3 or 4 times a night, and he's screaming like, "We got this!" Like, he's like jacking everybody up. Did Tony Khan come out a few times when you were there throughout the night? I'm assuming
he did, and he hyped up the crowd big time. Talking about coming back again, which I'm sure is par for the course with many towns. Yeah. But when you get the enthusiasm of the crowd, and I think they sold 7,200 there, which is a good crowd. They were hot all night. So it's one of those things. He says that, and you actually think like, yeah, I could see them coming back.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I've noticed something. Again, I'm from Indiana. JPJ's from Boston. You're from Canada. But like the last few just wrestling shows in Canada alone have just been hot crowds. Everybody's on their feet. Loving it. It's such a great atmosphere, such a good vibe that I hope they do more, and they are doing more shows in Canada. So good on them.
Yeah, we got love. I got Spencer popping and saying Canada rocks. Eh?
Hey, I'm still with my honorary Canadian. What's the citizenship? Is that the word we're going to go with?
Yeah,
I can't speak all of a sudden, but wherever Speedball goes, I follow. That's the deal. So.
And Warren is right here. Canada has always been a great wrestling territory, for sure.
And if you ask Warren, it's also been a great geese fighting territory.
That is true as well. That is true. But Canada has always been a great wrestling territory for a long, long time. And I'm hoping kind of what those damn geese.
Us or the geese, Warren?
Probably us. Probably us, if we're being real. But have guys saying the way the shows are selling, and I think not only the way the shows are selling, but the way that the Canadian wrestling fans are showing up and showing out to these shows as well. You know what I mean? I think, when you get big time wrestling shows, especially maybe in an area of Canada where you don't often get big time wrestling shows, it's really good when you're just getting the show, but like, people in Winnipeg, that was their first time seeing AEW, or that was their first time AEW going there. They know they're on television for Dynamite, and those fans are already pumped that they're even getting to go to the show. But then, as a wrestling fan, there's a little bit of like, hey, well, let's show them what Winnipeg's about here. Like, let's show up and be rowdy, like not in a negative, bad way, but like, let's be loud. Let's be into it. Let's do chants. Like, let's let people know that, this is a place you should come to more often than you do.
And they've done something really great, and they treat the hometown fans to a show, because when they're in Seattle, you saw Darby and Swerve and all of the Seattle faithful, like the ones who grew up there wrestling, they put them over. So right there, the fans are going to be into that. And the fact that Omega and Jericho are both here, or from Winnipeg, you have them in a match together, and the crowd was chanting, "This is awesome," before the bell even rang. They hadn't even touched, and they were going nuts.
Yeah. So it's very, very cool. And the way that all these shows are selling out in Canada
Mhm.
It's been really, really good. And I think that obviously was probably showing Tony Khan something that like, okay, we should probably make this a couple times a year kind of visit to Canada, or at least more than where we should be going. That's a really hot market for us, which is good, which is a good thing. Anything stand out? Obviously, I thought the episode that you saw from Dynamite was really good, but what was the thing that stood out the most? Was it that Omega, Jericho, the two hometown heroes, you could say?
Yeah, to me, that was really big. And I'm trying to think, that had to be tops, I think. I mean, it was great seeing some of the younger guys like the Darbys and Jungle Boy and Sammy. They're like you're getting ready for them to break through to that next level, seeing them being positioned that way, but nothing will top the Omega Jericho interaction in there.
Yeah, and we got Warren saying, "Yeah, but Winnipeg, they were happy there was something else in the Jets." that's what. And then Hab guy saying, "Hey Tony, come to Ottawa, will you? Come to Ottawa."
I love how absolutely territorial like Canada is, like how they just like Winnipeg or Ottawa.
Yeah, except I live here and I'm fans of sports teams from like everywhere else in Canada and one.
Oh, it sounds like you and Pluggo might get along. Pluggo usually has a new hat or new shirt of a sports team every week.
Yeah, I actually, no joke, I got the Cubs rocking hat under the hoodie. I got a Bowling Green Beat Sooners t-shirt.
Oh, Bowling Green. You're throwing out the Bowling Green here. All right.
Wow.
Digging deep, brother. And then he goes, "I always knew you were an Oilers fan, Blair."
Oh, I'm not.
Speaking of Dynamite, like I think we sports slut Pluggo.
Yes. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah. Can you change your profile somewhere to that name?
Yes. Yeah, I can be my new
sports slut. Yeah.
Listen, if I don't hate you, I'll wear your gear. It's fine. But I was gonna say, since we're already kind of talking Dynamite from last week, boys.
We're talking about this main event. Are we talking about this main event right here?
That match last night, the main event. Hold on.
Don't do it again.
Was amazing.
Last week was Blair, I don't know if you saw the episode last week, but last week was 316 day. It was Stone Cold's day when we were on here. And Pluggo, 5 minutes into the show, clanged 2 seltzer waters and poured them all. And he sat there for an hour and 40 minutes in a soaked ass hoodie. And I knew he was having a miserable time. The whole time I knew. He did it like 2 more times after that. And I was like, this. Yeah, like Warren says, give that man a raise. And I knew it was dripping all. I was like, I bet you that's going through the pants. Might even be hitting the socks. Oh my God.
That's dedication.
Give the people what they want. I'm here for you. Without the fans, we're nobody. And the fans wanted to see me pour water all over myself on Stone Cold Day. So yes, the
water damage.
Just don't tell Mrs. If you guys can, don't let Mrs. Pluggo see this.
It's
great. Don't.
We have Ryan Levy saying, growing up in Edmonton during the Dynasty years, I was always a Habs fan. So wow, there you go. But yeah, we probably should talk about,
because here's what I saw. The discourse before we'll set the table, right?
What do you mean? Don't you think the match would have been 10 times better if they would have fucking introduced who that guy was? I didn't know who he was. No video package.
He needed a 6 week build for this thing.
Yeah, what the hell, bro?
It was just amazing.
It was incredible.
Yeah, and like I was telling you guys before the show, that was the first time I had ever seen that gentleman wrestle in my life. Obviously had heard the name. I knew he was somebody people talked about. He was supposed to be a really big deal and things like that. I knew he was a AAA champion for a long, I knew, I did not know he was like 23 or 24 years old. He's like super young. Yeah. I did not know that, but they were people on the IWC, the wrestling community, were super excited for this match. They were super excited to see this guy on North American television, and it was for free. That match was last night for free. And it lived up to, it exceeded I was just like, how is this guy doing any of the stuff he's physically?
Mm-hmm.
How is he doing any of this stuff that he can do? Like that is he made of rubber? Like what is going on here?
He's insanely good. Ryan Levy saying, did anything else happen other than Vikingo and Kenny? Based on the internet reaction to last night, absolutely not.
I mean, that was the main thing. I actually thought Dynamite was a solid show last, like a pretty solid show. I thought the Stokely Hathaway stuff with Hook was really good. I'm drawing a blank because we're talking about the main event, but I thought overall Dynamite was a pretty damn good show. I thought the opening trios match with Kip Sabian, Butcher and Blade, with Darby, Sting, and Orange Cassidy was a blast. Sting doing the Orange Cassidy stuff and was very cool. And Sting looked like a damn badass with those sunglasses on after that match too, when Orange Cassidy gave him the sunglasses. But I thought it was good wrestling throughout, and I just thought it was a good show. There was a lot of good storyline telling between the Elite and what happened at the end of the show. Orange Cassidy, Ophelia says it right here. Orange Cassidy with the OC face paint, like that most bare minimum face paint to fit in with the team, was really, really good. Yeah, I thought to answer your question, Hab guy, Rye. I thought overall Dynamite was really good, but this main event was crazy. Like, it was crazy.
Where do you lie on that, Blair? With like, do you want him to? Would you have wanted him to build that up, or are you just happy with them giving them 20 and letting them do whatever they want?
I don't need build up. Like, I feel like I watch. This is going to sound bad, but like I watch enough stuff that I'm familiar with who's out there. There's some guys, that I admit I know nothing about, but like Vikingo, I had heard about him from a few years ago. You keep tabs on him. So as soon as they announce the match, it's like, okay, this is going to be something special. And I think there'll be times where you'll see a good match and be like, oh yeah, that's a match of the year candidate. But like that literally was for free on TV. So you didn't need a subscription. You didn't need a pay-per-view. It was right there for you to watch. And it was incredible.
Yeah, my thing with that is always like, and I've said this on this show, I've said this on other shows, I've just like that's how you get to know these people. Like, great, they gave you a free match. Maybe you didn't know who Vikingo was, maybe you did, but if you didn't and you watch that match and you like that style, like, oh shit, this guy is cool, I'm gonna go follow him, see what else he does. You're gonna stumble in. That's how you grow the business. Like, yeah, I don't think every match on Dynamite should be, somebody that's not signed and no build. You should have stories. Absolutely. Everybody can tell me. But every once in a while, when you get an opportunity to do something like that, it only grows your business. So you should want to do that. You should be cool with it. People shouldn't be all shitty about it. Like, if you don't like that style match, just change the channel. Vikingo rules. But he's so good.
And like, in general, I think it was John Alba who said on Twitter after that show last night, he was like, oh, really rough night for the AEW doesn't know how to tell stories crowd. And it's like, they gave you that match. Like, they gave you that match for free with, the no build or whatever. But even in that match, at the end of that match, they continued to tell a story that was interweaved throughout the whole episode of Dynamite. So it's like, they were telling you stories all night. You're just butthurt because
the one that they didn't,
whatever. Like, I don't even know.
And like, even the one that they didn't tell has a story. It's just more for that hardcore audience that knows that.
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought. What I was going to say, but it was something good. I'll say that much. But
say whatever you want. You're on Between Two Beers, baby.
Yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say.
This is the flagship, bro. You say whatever you want.
Like, it's the same kind of thing where heading into Forbidden Door last year, people are upset. They don't know, how am I supposed to know who Shingo Takagi is? There's no video package. Well, watch what he can do in the ring, and you're going to have you're going to have doors open for you to check out new stuff just because of like being open to someone you've never heard of.
Yeah.
That was me with Takeshita, like last year. I didn't know who he was. I'd never seen him wrestle, and now he's one of my favorite wrestlers. Like, I love seeing that.
I mean, and like, things were different when I was younger. I would go to like, we had rental stores. You would go rent videos and stuff like that. But dude, you have YouTube. Like, if you don't know anybody and they're coming up on it, if you're a big AEW fan and you're buying Forbidden Door and they announce a match with someone from New Japan that you don't know, either you can do what Blair said, watch the match, and if you like the match, you go, okay, cool, this is a new person on my radar. I'm going to go dive into their shit, or just dive into their shit.
Yeah.
And watch a handful of matches, watch a match or two before the show so you have like a better, it's like,
It's like Warren
Hayes'
cooking shows on Tuesday nights that he plays on his podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know those cooks. I get to know those cooks and I try out their recipes and they're delicious.
Yeah,
it's still in the chat.
Yeah. It's just very
all I'm saying is bacon, chicken, mayonnaise.
Yeah.
That shit.
Some of those. Oh, that's hilarious. It's just very bizarre. Like when I remember being a younger wrestling fan and getting into wrestling, and like when I saw people or new things, like I didn't get angry. That was just more stuff for me to absorb. And it's just, I don't know. It's a very weird dynamic when people come from that. Oh, I don't know this person. Why are they doing this? Why are they main eventing a show with somebody that nobody knows? It's like, okay, well, like they're not just picking me out of the friggin' audience to go main event Dynamite. Like this guy clearly is you might not know who he is, but he's main eventing for a reason. Like it's not me or Pluggo coming out of the stands. You know what I mean? Like it's just
what
very
are you trying
weird.
to say, bro? I can do those
highest rating Dynamite of all time. They want to get me in there.
I can do those Vikingo moves, bro.
But it's just, I don't know. It's just very weird for me. It's very weird for me how people just, and there's always going to be people that complain about anything, right?
Like,
but it's just a weird thing to me. I'm like, that's just more things for you to end up liking. Down the line, you know?
I don't know about you, Blair, but I've never subscribed to that. Like, oh, you don't know the entire lineage of the WWE Championship. You can't be a fan.
Yeah. You know, like
this is how you grow the business.
It's like when you're younger and it's like, if you can only listen to one genre of music. Well, I can only listen to punk. That's my thing. You can't listen to hip hop. And then you get older and you're just like, nah, you know, like Taylor Swift bangs. I'm going to listen to that. I'm going to listen to Pennywise. I'm going to listen to all this stuff because why not? Just be a fan of what you enjoy.
You a Pennywise guy?
I used to love them when I was a kid. I still have a few albums on my iPod.
All right. I like it.
Full Circle still goes.
Oh yeah. Dustin saying, I don't follow AEW super close, but when I do watch it, I do find that they cater a bit to everyone, whether it's the matches, the promos, the way of building stories or characters. You can't make everyone happy, but I will commend AEW for doing different stuff on weekly TV you don't really see elsewhere. I think, 100%.
We're in the golden age of professional wrestling right now, where you can literally, at the touch of a button, have anything you want and not have to worry about the stuff you don't want to watch. Like, even if you said like last night, like, I'm not watching that match because they didn't build it, you still had another hour of television that you were like, I could watch that. And then you don't even have to watch Kenny Omega wrestle. If you don't want to, you can turn it off. You don't have to sit there. I don't understand that. I still don't understand that.
You still got a chance to watch QTVs. So
yeah, you can watch if QTVs
of Aaron Solo.
There you go.
I've turned into the biggest Aaron Solo market just from last night.
Yeah, that was a standout performance.
You think Bailey's kicking her? Do you think Bailey's kicking herself for dumping him?
Maybe. I don't know.
He's big star now.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that was a star. That was a star-making performance by Aaron Solo on QTV baby. Last night.
Aaron Solo for the All-Atlantic Championship.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not All-Atlantic anymore. Jesus, Blair, do you watch the Projects International Championship now? Jesus Christ. We brought you on for
Jeez Louise, get him out of here, will you? God.
Who invited this guy?
No. Okay, I'll see you guys later.
No.
It's like peace.
One thing I did want to talk about a little bit, because we saw a segment. Hold on. Have guy says, finally, my internet crashed. Then Twitch wanted me to watch the same couple of ads about 5 times in a row. Well, we're glad you're back.
I will say this: if you do want to avoid those ads, you could hit that subscribe button. And
just
then
saying, if you have Amazon Prime, it don't cost you a penny. It don't cost you a penny if you got Amazon Prime. You can subscribe right here to Love Wrestling for free.
Earlier, we need raises, so.
Yes, Pluggo's, working damp every week.
I'm working damp
pipe damage or some sort of water damage everywhere.
I gotta pay for wrestling training
Not
to
great.
Take care of business at
Not
LPW
great.
15.
But one thing I did want to talk about.
Yep, that's right. The working damp Pluggo.
Working damp. Hey, what? I like make that stick. Hashtag working damp. But no. One thing I wanted to discuss, because I want to say it was it was like late last week. Dax of FTR, because they were involved on Dynamite last night in a little segment with the Guns, which I actually thought that tag match with Top Flight and the Guns was actually pretty good too. Top Flight, Dante Martin, we're talking about what like Vikingo and all the stuff we saw with him, but Dante Martin makes everything he does look like it's so easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's annoying. The things he can do. It's like he looks like he's not even trying.
I'm
like
the Dante Martin of sitting on the couch.
There you go. But afterwards, FTR comes out. They are trying to get a championship match against the Guns. They're offering a bunch of things, and the Guns keep on saying no. And then at the very end, Dak says, "How about if we lose, we'll quit AEW?" And then that makes the Guns go, "All right, cool, deal." And they just spit right in their face like savages. It was incredible. But a little bit early or late last week, Dax on Twitter came out and said that FTR had made a decision about what they're doing because, their contracts are up in April, I think, reportedly, or around April or something like that. And so, but they said that they couldn't announce it yet because of whatever logistics or things like that. And then you see a segment like last night, which very much leans into that a little bit, I believe. What are you guys thinking? Because, FTR, as far as tag teams go, you can make an argument they are the best tag team in wrestling right now in the world. Obviously have a history with WWE, have been with AEW for a little bit here. We've seen them everywhere. Crockett Cup and NWA. We've seen them IWGP champions, AAA champions. They've been everywhere these last couple years. Where do you think that promo and this little setup with the Guns actually, like, did that do anything to you to make you think they're staying in AEW? Or where are you guys lining about where FTR might potentially end up here?
I mean, I can't see anyone putting them in a position to give them a championship match if they aren't planning on staying. And if that's really the angle they wanted to go and they were leaving, then all the power to them. You want to get paid more, you want to do whatever, chase that dollar. But I think that I do think it's all part of the story. I fully believe they've re-signed, months ago, and it's just working their way into it now.
Yeah.
You don't think we're going to see them dump the AEW tag titles in the trash on SmackDown the following?
Maybe Friday. If it's with that the costume change they were offered when they packed it up the original time, maybe they'll be wearing that doing it.
I don't knock anybody. You could go anywhere you want, make the money, get the bag, do your thing. I just really enjoy you got Ry Levy saying, "Ain't no Bussy. I want to see Bussy FTR." There's so many dream matches I still want to see FTR have out there that if I go to the WWE, you're never going to see that.
Yeah, that's just not. It's off the books.
I would hope after they figure out what to do with the bloodline in WWE that they do kind of refocus their tag division a little bit and make it. But I don't want to see FTR get lost in the shuffle. And I'm not really a huge fan of the Guns as tag champs, so I want them to win. I hope it's a swerve. I hope that they're going to win and stay in AEW and be the champs for a while. And then eventually we get back to FTR and the Bucks, because there's still a bunch of FTR matches in AEW I'd like to see too.
Yeah. There's FTR matches. I want to see them one-on-one with the Motor City Machine Guns or with the Impact Tag Champs, Chris Bay and Ace Austin.
Yes.
I'm not, I'm not clamoring for it, but those are ones that if, they announce that match, I'm tuning in right away for it.
Oh, 100%. And like Pluggo said, those options are going to be available to them if they remain with AEW or do something else. But if they decide to go back to WWE, which is their prerogative, they were in NXT when they were there. They were having the best matches on the show. They were treated like tag team wrestling was important, and that was under Triple H. And Triple H is running the show now over there. So I could see them potentially being interested in going back over there and working with Hunter, because Hunter treated them pretty well. It was when they got up to the main roster, not with Hunter, where, things went kind of awry, so I could see that happening. But yes, I do think they're a tag team that wants to travel the world. They want to fight the best tag teams all around the world in all different promotions. And that's just something that you're not going to get if you're in WWE, because WWE has their universe and nothing else matters outside of it. You know what I mean? So, but we'll see. But once they kind of leaned into it last night, that's when I was like, oh, I think they're re-signed.
I think that there was a point with FTR where it was like, okay, they could go back to WWE, Hunter's in charge. you can see that there's a difference in the direction and the talent's coming back and it's meaning something. But now that like honeymoon phase is starting to wear off, you're starting to see like maybe it's a better situation with Hunter. Like I think we full believe it is a better situation, Hunter, but is it that much drastically better to give up all of your freedom again? Because I remember FTR paid to get out of there. Like they gave up all of the rights to all of their likenesses and stuff. Said we'll just reinvent ourselves on the indies. And I remember Dax saying like that cost us a bunch of money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so do you want to go through that again where you're like, all right, we're back under the revival? Because I think they'll come back as the revival. They won't be FTR again. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll figure that out. But yeah, I just think let's keep them in AEW. Let's keep this. It's like they're so precious, and I just want to keep them right here. Where
you're losing so much freedom if you go back. Like right now, you have so many options, and to go back, like if that's what you truly want, go for it. But just remember how it felt what you have.
Yes. Yeah. And on that note, we're going to reset and thinking about what you have. We have the hard hour, so we got about 20 minutes left before Quizplex with a guest host tonight. Just got word. It's going to be Spenny Love hosting tonight. Zach is on assignment. And it's again, TJ Cannon, Big Bad Boris, Audible Chocolate. Stay tuned. We might have some Big Bad Norris. I can't speak. Big Bad Boris news coming up. And our girl Taryn from accounting, right at 9:00. She'll stay right here on this Twitch channel and hang out with them for Quizplex, the best quiz show on the internet. I think I did pretty good there.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I'm proud of you. I thought that was pretty good. One other quick thing I wanted to talk about from AEW last night is we did see Adam Cole, baby. Come back again. Come back for the first time in a little bit since the last time we saw him. Which was a few months ago, I want to say, or the LA show. So at the beginning of the year. And we found out that we knew he was coming back next week to wrestle. We just didn't know who his opponent was going to be. Yeah. And we found out officially that his opponent for next week will be Daniel Garcia. So that is a match that I'm very, very much looking forward to. But I wanted to talk about Adam Cole in a greater picture. Because obviously
before you do that, I lied. The boss says, well, actually, there's been a late change in the game. TFA is no longer available.
Oh, no.
But they do have a replacement. I wonder if he's going to tell us who.
I don't know. Who? I was getting ready. I was going to be rooting hard for TFA. That's our girl.
You know how we roll, but
I know.
That's fine. As long as it's not a rad, I'm happy.
Oh, okay. So Spencer will not be telling. So we'll just have to tune in.
Tune in to check it out. Find out who's taking TFA's place. Anyway, Adam Cole, we're back to the.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, so obviously AEW is trending in the direction of the 4 pillars being involved with the World Heavyweight Championship. There was a great vignette last night with MJF, kind of the instant reaction after the segment last week, where he went into the cake. And then there was some more chatter between Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, and Sammy Guevara. And MJF made it very clear that you guys need to earn your championship spot. I beat all of you. Nothing's given here. So rack up some wins, become the number 1 contender, and then we'll talk. And again, don't get me wrong. I would look forward to seeing MJF fight any of those guys again. For the AEW title. I think those matches would be great. But I look at a guy like Adam Cole, and he's just coming back, so I'm not saying right now. But I look at a guy like Adam Cole, and there is not a doubt in my mind that, at least to me, he should be the guy that eventually dethrones MJF for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. That, to me, especially if you're going to keep him as a babyface, as you're doing right now, clearly, look how over he is. Like, the guy is completely over. He's one of the best in the ring, one of the best on the mic, handsome as hell. Like he checks every box you need to be a face and lead your company. I think it should be Cody Rhodes. That's the other company. We'll be talking
Walks about. Walks in with both belts of WWE. It's like, I've been working you the whole time.
Bruh, it's all part of the plan. But that and I think I tweeted about it last night, and I was just like, I see Adam Cole, and I'm like, that's the guy that I want to dethrone MJF down the line here, and like be the baby face of your company. And I think Adam Cole checks every box to fill that role. Go ahead.
they're like, they need someone for that top babyface spot too right now. So like, to have him and being able to elevate him to that spot, I mean, they're set. You have a challenger down the road for whether it's Double or Nothing or All Out, waiting there with him, and he can build up wins, get back into the swing of things. Because I mean, being off for 9 months or whatever it was, like, takes a toll on you.
Yeah, especially with head stuff. Like the first bump that he takes, like he needs to truly feel, he's going to have to get back in the swing of things a little bit, as good as he is.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it probably won't look like it'll take him long to get back in the swing of things. He's that good of a professional wrestler. But yeah, I just look at that guy and I'm like, that guy's the future face of your company, like the baby face of your company.
Maybe if we spam who in the chat, friends, Spencer will tell us who it is. So
I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's
spam
gonna.
the chat with who. Maybe if we get like 100 who's in the chat.
100.
Wait, I don't know. I don't know what the
a lot of who's.
I was spitballing here, but yeah, I think you're right. I think I'm just glad to see Adam Cole back happy and in a wrestling environment, whichever wrestling environment. If we hit 1,000 subscribers tonight, I will reveal it. All right. Well, do your best, Twitter universe. Greatest part of Thursday nights.
Popping in.
What's up, Call Pizza? So we have Boris in the house.
Affiliate
Big Bad Boris. Now listen here. Like, I'm gonna have to stick up for our guy, Big Bad Boris here. He's prepared for TFA. You're throwing him for a loop. There's already controversy amid this Quizplex.
So what was the controversy? So TJ Cannon was
if it's
the
a member of the Rads affiliate, I'm gonna cry.
Just so I understand, TJ Cannon was the champion, but he could not appear on a show. So Boris filled in, and then won as well. So now you have Boris, who's a champion, and TJ Cannon, who's a champion. Is that where? And there we go. Big Bad Boris saying, much like Matt Cardona, he's always ready. He's always ready.
Can I just say that was a very well done piece by Matt Cardona, the Indie God thing.
Oh, very good.
Like
I love that guy.
Full shoot. Like I know what he's saying is like he'll never go back.
Oh, the other way around. So Boris was the champion and TJ Cannon filled in, but got it.
We got
I knew there was some sort of got it.
No, but he's been doing he cut the basically saying like, I don't want to go back. I'm going to pave my indie road here. You don't need to be in WWE. It's been 3 years. My money's never been higher. My popularity's never been higher. I ultimately, at the end of the day, think he is going to go back because that would be the Matt Cardona thing to do based on his character work. But I love what he's doing on the indies. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, Go ahead, Blair.
Oh, I was going to say, I think it was Spencer that predicted that he shows up the night after WrestleMania, and after he said that, I think it was him. I fully believe that he will now.
Spencer does that though. He says he puts these things out of the universe, and then they do happen, and you're like, what?
That's what I thought. I was right.
Yeah,
I was right. How dare you, Spencer?
Oh, wait. Maybe we don't want to trust Spencer's sources here on the Cardona thing. What's going on in this show, man?
Yeah.
We talk about CM Punk?
Yeah, let's talk about CM Punk. Bring it up. Let's talk about it. Tell the people
how do you feel about CM Punk overall, Blair, just in general?
I'm torn because like I like the guy when he's around, but like if everything that happened is just like, you know what, just sort all of your crap out with everyone and let's move on from this. Like the splitting of like, you have some people supporting him and some supporting the other side. It's like, you're grown-ups in professional wrestling. Like, let's grow up.
Let's make that bag and move on, huh?
Exactly. But I like CM Punk. He's great matches.
Do you fully believe he's never seen Rocky? Like, I find that hard to believe. He posted that today.
Like, hasn't seen a full movie or is like doesn't know of it. So that's what it's like, because I think everyone's seen clips of it, but maybe I've only sat down and watched a few of them from beginning to end. So
okay. I just was wondering if
we got Have guy saying it feels like it's high school with him. CM Punk. And Spencer saying if it helps, you haven't seen Rocky 3.
I've only seen half of it. So
all right. With Thunder Lips, man.
I haven't seen 4.
And Have guy saying just move on and let him return at Forbidden Door. Look we've talked about CM Punk a lot. So can you explain the situation of why he was back in the news today, Pluggo?
So essentially he posted on Instagram and like almost immediately deleted it. Like, you know, he was injured. The whole Mox thing that went down with that wonky, like he took a kick, got squashed. Like,
yeah, the foot, like he had the broken
foot. He wasn't
right?
cleared, but Mox wanted to do it, and Punk was like, "Well, if Tony Khan wants to do it, he's the boss. I'll do what the boss wants." Basically, called Dave Meltzer a liar and Jericho a mark and a liar and an idiot and all sorts of things. Just like basically saying that whole deal that went down was not his idea. Blah blah blah. So, of course, with last night, the whole Young Bucks getting smashed, they covered up the CM Punk on the side of the truck. It's no stronger. I was going to say, I don't know if Rocky really hits the Canadian market as well as it does down here in the States, but, it is what it is.
And, well, I did want to bring this up, though, because, Dynamite opened last night, and it opened with the Young Bucks being put into ambulances. With the rest of Hangman, Kenny, and Don Callis out there. And there was a truck, an AEW truck that was there, and it had the Young Bucks on it, and it had Jade Cargill on it, but the Young Bucks are on it, and right in the middle of the Young Bucks on that truck was CM Punk. But during the segment, CM Punk was covered with like a sheet or like a big tarp or something like that. Now, a lot of people
started to leave thinking it was him.
Well, this is what I wanted to talk about, because last night we did an episode of Firmly AEW right after AEW. We'll be doing that on Wednesdays for a little bit here coming up. And Drew was one of those people. He was like, this is what that made me think, that maybe Brian, because it seems like they're pushing towards maybe at Double or Nothing, the Elite versus the BCC. And it will be Young Bucks, Kenny, and Hangman versus... There's 3 of them now. A lot of people assume that Danielson would just come back and be the 4th guy. But because of what went down last night, some people out there are thinking that maybe CM Punk might be involved, because obviously he has the history, and he did, even though the fight was with the Bucks and Kenny, Hangman was really that promo with Hangman was really the thing that started all of this, really. Mm-hmm. It's the thing that Punk mentioned first about why he was pissed off and all that stuff. So how do you guys feel about that? Do you think that's just wrestling fans creating a bigger story than, you know what I mean? Like, do you think that's just wrestling fans taking their imagination and running with it? Or do you think there's a legitimate chance here that maybe CM Punk ends up being involved with the BCC here, or like is a part of this thing? It just seems like it was very odd for them to just, I get it, he's not around, but like, if it was that big a deal, couldn't you just film the segment somewhere else out back so that truck wasn't there? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, like I think with Tony likes his storylines like to be very intricate sometimes. So I could see like him putting this thought into like, yeah, we're gonna, cover the banner up, like to make it seem like we don't want him there, but he's gonna come back, and just to like get the wheels turning. And then I could also see, on the other hand, them being petty enough to be like, no, just cover it up. So,
yeah, and that's part of it, because I could see them being like, no, we don't show his face on, because then people are going to start talking about, like, let's just cover it up. So nobody will say, oh, CM Punk's on the truck. Oh.
I kept saying they knew he was injured, so they're like, let's do this anyway, because you're going to be out anyway, so let's blow this shit up. Because I do that every time there's a rumor of a return. I always go CM Punk. Top my list, because I'm a Punk guy.
We got Spencer saying that he thinks it'll be CM FTR going against the House of Black when he returns for the trios titles. And then he says that he thinks FTR is swerving us. And then he said he's off to go get ready for Quizplex, which starts in just a little over 10 minutes. Which has a
mystery opponent.
Yes, it has a mystery contestant this evening. Now, our girl TFA is out. Something came up and she cannot make it. Yes, so it'll be Big Bad Boris. Oh,
we were this close.
10 minutes left in the damn show.
We have Blair on. We were this close. What the?
Oh man, look who it is again. The man with the finest beard on this stream.
Yeah, JPJ.
Me. It's me. That's me.
Rich King, baby. Look at this thing.
Sorry, Blair.
What's going on, Blair?
I shouldn't have trimmed mine. How you doing?
Oh, doing great now that I'm back on the Rad Show with the biggest Rad supporter around. We got JPJ and we got Pluggo, who's still working on his fandom, but he'll be there after March 31st at LP Dub.
I say they're going to win one match.
LPL.
I say they're going to win one match, and I'm a super fan. I'm a super.
Now
fan.
Don't try to break us up. I don't know what you're trying to do. Gives you these links every week. I'm getting sick of this.
I'm not breaking you guys up, okay? It's just difference of opinions. You guys are allowed to have that. If that causes risk between you, well, that's an issue, not an me.
Shouldn't you be preparing for a match of some type in a week or so?
I've got a whole week and a bit.
You're facing 7. They're
That's
most
not even a
dynamic group you've ever came across.
I don't know if you noticed this, but we held every single tag team title that there is in Alberta at one time. Okay? 7 isn't a challenge for us. As much as they want to talk online, as much as they want to blah, blah, blah about us getting Ben suspended, we don't need Ben. As much as I love those beautiful pale thighs and that gorgeously dressed human being, we're still going to win. We're still going to touch tips. We're still going to shake our hips. We're always going to have our championships, but we're going to shut 7's lips.
All right. I mean,
they rhyme all the time. They're like,
they do. Yeah. They look at
it. They can't count, but they can rhyme.
We're good at English. We're smart.
Yeah. Yeah.
How
do you keep getting this link? All right, let's come on.
That was literally going to be my question. Can you just be honest with me and tell me how the hell you keep getting onto these shows?
You guys want to? Okay, before I tell you though, I have to say that watching your guys' show is almost as embarrassing as watching the TikTok guy talking to Congress. It's just a bunch of old people that don't know what they're talking about anymore and just really, really want to suck up to their fans. But anyways, so how I got your stream. Okay, it's very intricate, so pay attention. I will talk.
If you cut us off,
I know what he's doing. I already know.
God. Get a better gimmick.
Step 1, Pluggo. It goes like.
Don't do it, you son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. Unbelievable.
Oh, sorry, Blair.
It's okay. I mean, I enjoyed talking to the guy before, but I mean, after this,
yeah. Oh my God.
You notice? Can I just say something? I don't like speculation. I don't like speculation. But a couple minutes before Rich King popped in here, just saying.
You think the boss is
somebody has how many people do we know on this? Blair doesn't get access to the link. I mean, we gave it to him tonight because he was on the show.
Yeah.
But so he had nothing to do with the previous 2 weeks, clearly, because this is the first time we've given him a link. Who besides us has access to the links here? 3 other people? 3 other people.
Exactly how original. Every week he pops in, does this little song and dance, and then
we got to feel you saying, sorry, no Apple this week. Have guys saying that JPJ does have the finest. I do. We got Boris saying, chill Yoko. Spencer did come back and say he's back. Outstanding. So,
it's outstanding.
I'm just saying.
Just like he said, though, the TikTok guy, if anybody's been paying attention to that, Congress has been trying to chase down TikTok because they're worried about it. But I'd like to know about my data securities here at Love Wrestling. Clearly, anybody can just come in and out of streams whenever they choose.
It's unbelievable. And Big Bad Boris saying he has some amazing guests for P&P this week. I know who those guests are, and he is being 100% accurate. He does have some quite amazing guests.
I hear they're beautiful.
I do too. All right. We got a couple more minutes to get out of here. Blair, we're going to be chatting with you next week a little bit about some WrestleMania stuff, which we're looking forward to here. So for a few minutes before we go, because obviously we'll dive a little deeper when
this is your show.
We're chatting next week. I did want to say, as far as the build to WrestleMania, with this coming Monday is the go-home show to WrestleMania. It is next weekend. What are, 1 or 2 things that has really stuck out to you as what you're looking forward to the most? And then what's 1 or 2 things that you're kind of not maybe disappointed is a strong word, but that you were kind of expecting a little bit better build and has kind of been lackluster for you?
I mean, for when it comes to WrestleMania, I'm hyped on the both the programs, the Usos against Sami and Kevin, Cody and Roman. I thought they've done a great job with that, even though they didn't take my booking idea, but that's fine. Those I'm very, very excited for. The one thing that I'm kind of I'm really disappointed in is I feel like when it comes to the women's programs, they haven't given them the attention they deserve.
Yeah.
Because Rhea and Charlotte, we should feel like that is a much bigger deal than they've made it to be.
Especially there, because that is the rumored night one main event. Like that's what people are saying is going to be. And it doesn't. Will the match be main event quality with those two? Yeah. I bet you by the time the match is over, we'll be like, well, damn, that was really, really good. But I don't think the build has been main event of a WrestleMania build. And I say the same thing when it comes to Bianca and Asuka too. Bianca and Asuka arguably could be the match of the weekend if they get the right amount of time and able to go out there and do their thing. And I feel like that build has been non-existent almost, really. Like, I don't know. It's just felt a little. It's just been
Asuka laughing at Bianca essentially.
Dripping this, it's just been very. And I think Hab Guy's kind of right. They have been putting a little bit more focus on the 6-woman tag match with Becky, Lita, and Trish against Damage Control. It's just been very weird. I feel like they should, especially like you said, Charlotte and Rhea, with them gonna probably main event night one. I just feel like that match should really feel like it's way more important than it currently does.
And I mean, I'm excited for WrestleMania, which is something I couldn't say, the past few years, but like this one, I'm excited for it. And with the span of 5 minutes, NXT made me excited for Stand and Deliver just by announcing Dragon Lee in the North American match. So I mean, hey, that's a great way to get my attention. Have a good WrestleMania weekend, and like you'll get me back in as a fan more.
Yeah,
it should be 100%. A good weekend.
Pluggo, that's about it. That's about it. We gotta get out of here.
I'm just like every week. I'm trying to run, we're trying to run a family show here. We're trying to be professionals. They're calling me out every week on social medias. I got to make a decision because I'm gonna have to figure out how to get to Canada. But on that note, we're all running out of time. It's been a hell of an hour. Again, Quizplex in like 2 minutes with mystery guest. We don't know. Our boy Big Bad Boris from Punk and Pile Drivers. Stay tuned. We might be joining him for a little audio chocolate. And TJ Cannon of 7.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll have anything to say. I wonder if he was watching that or will have anything to say about.
Dad yells at me when I do it on camera because I can't make. There we go. Okay. But on that note, Blair, we appreciate you being here. So please tell our fans and the fine folks where they can find you and make sure that they follow and check you out, man.
You can find me up on Twitter at Grainmaker Pod, Grainmaker Wrestling Podcast, on all other social media platforms. And you can search it on all podcast streaming platforms too. And thank you guys for having me on the show. It was great.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to get you on when we have one of our normal. He's coming in right at the end. I don't know if we'll have enough time. I don't know if we'll have enough. Are we going to get?
Minute.
Is he there?
What is that?
I don't know. Is he having trouble?
I can't see his face.
Well,
so
he missed out.
He missed out.
He's missed out. He missed out.
Here
he is.
Here, like,
you have 1 minute to say whatever it is you need to say.
1 minute. Oh, exactly.
Okay, 1 minute. 1 minute. Not Canadian minute.
Jabronis should shut the hell up. Let me talk, because whoever we go up against next, Rads are for life, and we are going to take everyone down. Let's freaking go. That's all I got.
That was something.
Whatever.
Right. Get out of here.
How do you get in the link? How you getting the link? How you getting the link?
Who's putting you over on this? What's happening?
Bullshit.
Stay tuned.
Anyway,
15 seconds.
15 seconds. Quizplex is coming.
Follow
Blair.
JPJ at JPJ Loves Gaming. Follow me at Pluggo. Follow the show page at Bean2Beards for all the stuff we got coming up. We got a killer guest next week ahead of WrestleMania. We'll tell you on the socials. Peace out. Boomayay! Boomayay!
The hell with them Rads. Blair, thanks for hopping on.
Blair,
Rads, you're going to get what's coming to you. Quizplex starts now. Peace out.
Get yourself help and you boom.